So welcome back. We have covered most of the basics of aerodynamics, and now we will see that after studying so much, we have know about the fundamentals of aerodynamics. How does this helps in making our race cars go faster? So with aircraft, it is understandable that that creates lift and that would makes our ride easy. So what? How does this helps in Formula cars? So what happens is that initially the engineers which are making vehicles, they do not care much about the air interaction with the vehicle because the speed is very low initially. So they do not worry and they mostly make this kind of boxy cars. But as the speed increases, they realize that the decrease in performance because of this wind interacting with their car design becoming substantial. So what they thought of is that making their car a bit more streamlined so that there is very little interaction between the air particles and the vehicle. So after this kind of boxy design, they started making this teardrop shape. The teardrop is the most streamlined shape. So this is the shape they started to making so that the interaction is reduced and the drag which we experienced is reduced. But after as the technology improved and engineers started to study about these things more, so they get to know that they could use the air interaction with their vehicle to their advantage in making the car go even faster or space or even save some fuel economy. So that's why you see that modern race cars looks like this. There are very iconic element which makes the car look very cool looking. So these are actually engineering designs which engineers have thought of. By using the air interaction with the vehicle, they will make the car go even faster. So initially the air interaction which was slowing the car down, now it helps in going fast. So that is the study how we do it. Unlike in aircraft, we do not want our vehicle wheels to lift off the ground. In aircraft, we want to lift off, but if the car gets lift off, that would be a very worse condition because that might lead to total loss of control of the vehicle, and that might end up in catastrophic failure also. So to deal with this issue, the aircrafts also use the airfoil shape which we have discussed before. But as the aircraft was uh, used in as the airfoil was used in aircraft to produce positive lift, that is lift in the lift against gravity, in Formula 1 cars what we do is invert the airfoil shape so that we could get a downforce or negative lift, and that negative lift helps us in improving the traction or control of the vehicle. So let's see how that is done. So these are few ways which automobile engineers have developed over the years to increase the control and use air to go faster. So let us see how this things works. So the first thing is spoilers. So what does spoiler do? So as you see that this is the spoiler at the very end is the spoiler. So as you might know that the air particle which moves along this at the back of the car is moving very fast. Faster fluid, that means low pressure region. So low pressure region here, high pressure region here, that creates a lifting component. So that makes the rear part or the rear wheel wants to lift up. This spoiler that we have added at the end, this disturbs the airflow or it spoils the airflow, and that lift is mitigated here. So that is the work of the spoiler, to spoil the positive lift that was generating because of the airflow. It mitigates the positive lift, that is the spoiler. See, this is not made in the airfoil shape which we talked about. Next is wings. So wings, it means that the cross section area is made up of airfoil, unlike this spoiler. So as you see that this is a wing and there are airfoil shapes. See, this is the shape of the wing, this is an airfoil shape, but notice this airfoil is inverted. That means it creates a region of high pressure here and low pressure here. This pressure difference acts in the downward direction. So that creates a negative lift or we call this as downforce. This downforce essentially pushes the vehicle to stick to the ground even more, and that increases the traction of the vehicle. That does not lose control from the ground, lose contact with the ground. So this is the work of the rear wing. This is rear wing. Here you can see a